Good evening, everyone. My name is Rumbidzo, and I am back. In last week's session, we were talking about responsibility, and I did say that we would be continuing on that in this week's session. So, in this week's session, we're talking about responsibility and decision making. Before I get into that, I am going to start you guys off with some quotes and then we can continue from there. Okay, so my first quote for you guys is from William James, which says that when you have to make a choice and you don't make it, that is in itself a choice. So, in other words, he's saying that if you've got a decision to make and then you choose not to do anything or you choose not to make a choice, or you choose not to decide, basically, that in itself is a choice. So it's important to note that in life, there's no such thing as living by the borderline or by the fence. It's either you are making a choice that leads you to greatness through the high road, and which is also narrow, or you're making a choice that will lead to mediocrity, which is the low road, which is also very broad. The next quote I have for you is from Elena, which says that in the long run, we shape our lives and we shape ourselves. The process never ends until we die, and the choices we make are ultimately our own responsibility. So basically, decision making never ends until we die. It's a continuous process. We are always making choices every single day of our lives. When you wake up, do you choose to stay in bed or go to work? Are you choosing to eat that or that? So, we're always making decisions every single day of our lives. So that's not going to stop. So that's what this quote is basically saying. And then my last quote is from John, which says that today's decisions are tomorrow's victories. Decisions basically affect your future. So good decisions now affect your future positively, and bad decisions now affect your future negatively. So we need to be careful about that. Alright, so let's move on. So, as a person, how will you make ethical decisions in the face of the challenges you will come across? So, there are basically three ways of making good decisions. The first way is through command considerations. So, it's important to consider if the decision you're about to make is going to break any rules. So, these can be rules that have been set up by your parents, rules that have been set up by your school or the government. So, is your decision breaking any laws? More things to think about. Does it violate clear biblical teaching about right and wrong? So, these are the rules or the commands that are in the Bible. Is your decision violating any of these rules that have been set up? Does it go against basic Christian teaching and tradition? So, is it going against any principles that have been set up? Does it violate your conscience or another person's conscience as well? Would you like this done to you or your loved ones? So basically, the golden rule: do unto others as you would like to be done unto you. And another thing to consider is, would Jesus do this? And also, would Jesus question it? So, the second way of making ethical decisions or good decisions is through consequences consideration. So basically, you're considering if your decision that you're about to make, does it have good consequences or does it have bad consequences? Does it affect anyone else? Is it going to harm anyone? The decision that you're about to make, are you being responsible by making this decision? Who is going to be affected by the decision that you're making? Are you going to hurt someone's feelings? Um, are you, are you being selfish? Or are you going to cause harm to anyone else by the decision that you're making? Also, how is it going to affect you? Are you being affected? Are you being careless, basically, by the decision that you're about to make? What will be affected by your decision? What is the cost of this decision to me? So, am I going to get into trouble with my parents if I make this decision? Am I going to get into trouble at school? Am I going to be expelled? Does my decision have positive consequences also? And what is the cost of the decision to others? Okay, so the third, as well as the final way of making ethical decisions, is through character considerations. So this is where you're looking at how the decision you're about to make, does it affect your character? Is it in line with your character? Or when people see you doing this thing, they'll be like, this is like out of character for so and so. And also, do you want to be known for doing A, B, C, D? Like, are you okay with people knowing that this is what you do? So you're basically like saying how your decision will affect your character. And as I close, I'm going to leave you with another quote. I think I said this one last week, in our last session. And it says that the future belongs to those who are willing to assess their current reality, envision what they believe will happen, and then take responsibility for translating their vision into a new reality. So I'm going to say it again. The future belongs to those who are willing to assess their current reality, envision what they believe will happen, and then take responsibility for translating their vision into a new reality. So this is from Raymond Rood. So I am done for today's session. Have a lovely evening and have a blessed week.